I love the new pepper jack spicy chicken sandwich.
Bill says he loves the new pepper jack ranch spicy chicken sandwich he's eating right now. He also says the spicy pepper jack cheese and spicy ranch sauce packs a lot of heat. And the spicy all-white meat chicken fillet is delicious. He either said this is the most amazing chicken sandwich or I'm an incredibly handsome and well-spoken leader. Oh, right. It was the chicken. The Pepper Jack Ranch Spicy Chicken Sandwich. Only at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants.
Blog Talk Radio.
It's here.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
They're all hot. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Gingy. Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Have you checked the children?
Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
I think he's in trouble.
Julie, this guy, if he can't take a joke, he stinks.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
Look, just a flesh wound.
Hello, Flesh Wound Radio freaks. Welcome to a brand new episode of Horror Society Presents Flesh Wound Radio. I am Daniel Schein, and I am joined, as always, by Todd Loya. Todd, how goes it?
I'm doing all right today, and yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. We are back after missing last week. Actually, the first show we've missed in a good long while. We kind of had a good streak of not missing shows.
I think technically it's our first one we've missed because we did pre-record a couple commentaries over the Christmas season.
Yeah, that is true. So technically we can't count those as misses. So
yes.
we are very dependable podcasters. So, you always know that if life's getting you down, you can always listen to us talk. Somebody might be blowing their brains out right now, but hey, we're here. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Obviously, we're not going to rehash old news or anything, but it's been a pretty interesting couple of weeks here. And Todd, I'm sure things have been interesting there. I've been catching up on a lot of non-horror stuff during the last week because, we're essentially doing last week's show today. And I've watched a couple interesting movies, actually. I think I finally got around to Imitation Game, which was really good. I kind of watched some Oscar stuff that I've been sitting on for a while. So yeah. Yeah, we're glad to be back here, and yeah, we have actually not a complete horror night tonight because we do have a particularly interesting Lost Grindhouse classic. We've got a new Adam Green flick. We have a film based on a book that I actually read and had no idea it was based on it, and several other fun bits for you. Although I hate to do this, but we do have to kick off the news with a very, very sad news bit. Robert Zadar has passed away at 64 years old. The Pensacola News Journal reported that he was in town for Pensacon, and he began suffering from chest pains, and last night, unfortunately, he went, actually, I guess a couple nights ago, he went into cardiac arrest. And for some reason, if you don't know who Robert Zadar is, of course, tons and tons of films. Of course, Maniac Cop, probably his most recognizable role, but he was also in Samurai Cop. He was in Return to Frogtown, Run Like Hell, tons and tons of B movies. He was definitely a guy who made an impact. Not always the best movies, but
I got to go off one of his memorable mainstream ones, and that, you broke that jaw, and that's Tango and Cash.
Yeah, Tango and Cash, definitely one of his more mainstream titles. We actually had looked into him, I remember, at one point, because he did a lot of super low budget walk-on stuff with Conrad Brooks, who I worked with once, and he did some stuff actually with Donald Jackson, I believe, a while back. A lot of super low budget stuff, and from what I recall, I remember seeing him in, it was one of those movies with all the TNA wrestlers in it. I'll think of the name. It was horrible, but entertaining as hell. And I will think of it. The same director did like 2 movies with a bunch of wrestlers in it, and Robert Lazar had a small part in the better of the 2. And yeah, just somebody that, again, he had such a unique look. He really cool guy in person. I met him at a few different conventions at least. Probably saw him at several other ones. And really funny, really cool, down to earth. Believe it or not, he used to be a Chippendales dancer. I don't quite know how that might have worked back in the day, but chicks dig the chin, I guess. But very sad to see him go. Very sad to see him go. And like I said, there are some very small films out there that, again, not good films in the traditional sense, but there are a couple really entertaining ones to discover with him in it. I don't know. Obviously, I'm assuming you saw it, but did you see Return to Frogtown with Denise Duff?
Oh, yes.
Not, definitely not as good as Hell Comes to Frogtown with Rowdy Piper.
No, for sure.
Never forget the Meaner and Greener song in the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, I man, that might be what I do tonight, is just have a C movie marathon in honor of Robert Lazar's illustrious career. So, yeah, he was 64, and we offer our condolences. Real shame. So many great cult actors have passed away lately, and he's among them. I had the pleasure of meeting Richard Lynch not long before he passed, and I want to say they might have worked together at least once or twice. Just so many great ones have died recently. It's really sad, but we have his work, which will live on forever. And yes, other bit of news. Johnny Galecki, who, of course, mainstreamers would know from The Big Bang Theory, has joined the cast of Rings, the 3rd installment in the American horror franchise, and he's going to be playing one of the leads, Gabriel, who is a pleasure-seeking professor who mentors and helps the boyfriend and girlfriend duo of Holt and Julia. This is apparently a big departure from his character of Leonard on Big Bang Theory, and filming is underway on this one. So this is, God, when did the last Ring come out? Because they waited a long time to get this one.
Jeez. And I maybe even guessing late, I want to say 2007.
Really? I thought it might have even been
sooner.
Over a decade. Yeah, no, over a decade.
Yeah, I'm just going off the top of my head, because honestly, timeline-wise, you're probably right, because I know it took quite a while for the Japanese continuation too. Yeah, I want to say over a decade. I could be wrong on that. that time for me just kind of all blends together. That 2000s.
yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
You're right.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, because Devil's Rejects came out in 2007, so I think that was. I don't even know. No, it's 2005, I think. Jeez, I'm all awful.
2005.
Damn,
yeah,
10 years old already? Oh, jeez, time flies.
Yeah, Rejects is 10 years old. I want to say The Last Ring was. We will check it. I'm not going to cheat and look at IMDb, but we'll see if I'm right or not. I want to say more like 03 or something like that.
I was about to cheat and check.
You can cheat and check. We'll see who was closer, but I think it was way before 2007. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like they waited a long time. I don't know if it's going to have much of an impact now.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, my brain's clicking. Yeah, it's a VHS tape, so it has to be way before that. Jeez,
yeah.
What am I thinking? Yeah. Oh, jeez. I thought about that as I'm checking now. Ring 2, 2005. Okay, not too far off. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that seemed about right. So we were close, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm surprised it took so long because I know the second one I don't think had done as phenomenal, but the first one, God, that slammed the box office back then. It was one that I enjoyed a lot, but it was cracking everybody's favorite list, and that just always kind of annoyed me. This is the scariest thing you've ever seen, and I didn't quite agree. But it comes out in November 13th, 2015. So if you are a fan, you will get to check it out, and just in time for the holidays. And I'm
curious if they're going to follow the lead of Sadako. I'm just messing up her name. The Japanese reboot, and because they incorporated a lot of the digital technology, which makes sense. How are people still passing around the tape? This far off. Otherwise, it's going to be a small group on the horror collectors board. Just some.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because I liquidated my VHS collection a good long while ago. I switched over, and people that know me know I have a very unusually large collection, and I didn't have room for the videos anymore as well. And getting ready for a move, I found the last VHS I had. It was Bad Magic, which probably none of you have heard of because apparently it's really rare. It's a Polonia Brothers flick, and never had a DVD release, so I put that up for sale on eBay, and I had to go around because I realized I didn't have a VCR anymore. I thought we had a combo in storage, and we didn't. So I was going around, and I actually, and it was really strange because it's a friend that's early 20s, not dramatically younger than me, and he at first seemed to be confused what I was asked because I was going around. I was like, well, I want to check the tape, make sure everything's okay. I couldn't find anybody. A couple literally did not know what a VCR was. So we're getting old apparently. So I guess not many people keep it anymore, but yeah. I did make bank on Bad Magic though, so I was happy with that. So yeah, I think you're probably right. I don't see any way they're gonna make it a videotape.
I hope they don't remake the Japanese one because while it was fun in 3D and stuff, I just don't see that one translating well. It is kind of wacky and out there. I'm not sure if you saw the Sadako 3D.
Wasn't it kind of a movie within a movie type thing? I don't know if I watched that yet. I have it, I think, but I don't think I've watched it.
It's not really a movie within a movie. I mean, it's because the video ends up on I guess it would be YouTube or the equivalent, and it's kind of different. And gets a little too something you never would think you'd say in a ghost seat, or I can't even say that, in like a Rings type movie. It gets too wild CG and like big and turning into like a spider. It's really weird. It was cool visually, but it didn't fit with the others, and it's not really a continuation of the Japanese ones. Yeah, it's different. Yeah. And there already is a follow-up over there, but I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm a little behind. I love Asian cinema in general. I love Asian horror films, but I'm a little bit behind on some of the recent ones. I think the last film I saw that I really truly loved horror-wise was Dream Home, the Korean slasher flick that I thought was just fantastic. Definitely worth if you can get the region-free Blu Ray on that one. That was really good. But Sadako, a couple other of the recent Ghost releases I just haven't really watched.
Tormented was another one. There was the one that led up to it. There was two. I remember they were both 3D. There was Tormented and there was another one, something Labyrinth. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That one I believe I have. But
okay. Yeah, I want to say Spider or Pans, but those are both not right.
Yeah, and they've had a couple that have been in 3D, but we will see. We will see. I'm still looking forward to Bone Tomahawk in theaters. You know, something that's not a ghost movie, because it's getting ridiculous. Everything lately, I mean, it's been that way for a while, but it just seems like lately it's like you got to be a ghost flick to get, you know, the green light on a theatrical release. So Bone Tomahawk will have cannibals on the big screen, which I don't think we're going to see that from Green Inferno, so we'll hold out hope for that. So, yeah, actually, another bit of news. Of course, we weren't here, but X-Files is coming back for a limited 6-episode run with Duchovny and Anderson reprising their roles. And apparently the cigarette smoking man, played by Mitch Pileggi, will be back. And that will be no, I'm sorry, not Mitch Pileggi didn't play the cigarette smoking man. He's going to be back, and Walter Skinner's going to be back. Cigarette smoking man, played by William Davis. I have not watched X-Files in forever. I don't know if I need to go back and watch some of the last couple seasons, but I'm kind of excited for this one. I'm curious if it's still going to work now or not. I mean, it's been a long layoff.
And you know what? It's funny because I've noticed there was a couple, we started with Twin Peaks, and now we have this. I know there was news of Coach getting a reboot, and there's a couple others. And it's starting to be it's starting to be a trend, because I heard today Fuller House was announced.
Seriously? Really?
With DJ and Kimmy, I guess, and cameos from the old cast.
Are the Olsen twins gonna be like hooked on crack and hooking?
There was no mention of the Olsens or the middle one, just the older girls. I'm like, okay, I have a problem now, because the one thing we've been saying is television has its creativity. And now I'm starting to see, we got Dark Side. I mean, I'm looking forward to some of the genre stuff, but I'm like, no. Is it going to happen over here now, too?
I mean, Coach, holy fuck, that died in, like, the early 90s, didn't it?
Yeah, I'll admit, I loved Coach, so I am interested to see what they do. Anything with Craig T. Nelson can't be bad, so.
Yeah, no, I never really... I'm aware of the series. I never really watched it, but I am a Craig T. Nelson fan. Action Jackson, of course. But, yeah, it is unusual what's coming back. I mean, of course, X-Files, I mean, I remember watching. I want to say they debuted the same year. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the same year. And I remember sitting down to watch The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. with Bruce Campbell, which I absolutely loved, and I want to say that aired first, then X-Files, if I recall. at that time, and I fell in love with both of them. X-Files was huge, but it'll be interesting, like the new technology. That the last movie I remember being kind of shitty, so hopefully they can recapture the magic. And I'm embarrassed to say I don't even remember how X-Files ended. So we will see.
Should be interesting.
I'd like to see them do Full House, like not so wholesome, like rejoin them and just like everybody's lives have gone to shit or something. Like I said, the Olsen twins is meth addicts. Danny's an alcoholic. The one dude's doing like some sort of like South Park series instead of the wholesome crap he did before. I don't.
Now you're just a creepy old guy with a puppet. on a park bench,
trying to talk to kids and getting the crap beat out of them by angry mothers with their purse. That would actually be really funny, just a parody of wholesome old school sitcoms. Because
that would be awesome.
God damn. I remember being on a trip with my parents a few years ago, and they put on for some reason there was just nothing on. It was like one of those like Saturdays, and the hotel didn't have anything, and they put on Full House, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is like just so fucking cheesy. You don't think of it that way as like the humor. My God, they'll definitely have to reboot that a little bit. I don't even know if it would work with young people anymore. But
yeah, no, I'm hearing Netflix will be their home, so they can do whatever they want.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, everything's going to Netflix now. Mm-hmm. So yes, moving on, some other news. Alchemy has picked up the North American rights to Rob Zombie's 31. The film just recently began production, and of course, as we've been announcing, the cast is forming. I think Meg Foster might have been a newer one since we've been off, if I recall. And I'm looking forward to this one again. Love Rob Zombie, hate Rob Zombie. It's always a little bit different than what you tend to get direct to DVD. I'm assuming this one's probably going direct to DVD, but we will see. Maybe
a small release a la Lords of Salem.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, just the premise, I'm just thinking, I don't know. Do you see Rob Zombie kind of getting a big flick like Halloween again?
That's a tough one. I thought it was strange when I read the announcement today. I was like, okay, it's either going to be the Weinsteins or Lionsgate. And I was like, Alchemy, really?
Yeah. I don't know. He may be going the more rogue indie direction now. I don't know if he's going to get like the Blob remake or any of that, which I think is actually kind of sad because I do think he's a pretty good filmmaker.
I think it'll, as much as I like his, style, if this one's more traditional, even by traditional in terms of something more like Devil's Rejects versus, something more his style, and it's not completely out there like Lords of Salem, which I know turned a lot of people off. I think if it's just horror, straight up horror again, I think maybe someone else will take a chance on him. But as of now, I mean, with this last thing, being Lords of Salem, as much as I enjoyed that, I know it's not, one of the fan favorites or crowd favorites, whatever you want to call it. I'd like to think, yeah, but I'd also like to think a studio would be smart enough to take a movie that's, takes place on Halloween, sounds scary, and has all the makings to be a good Halloween time horror film. I mean,
yeah,
I know. It makes so much sense, you know. So I don't know much about Alchemy, so you never know. They could do something, but I honestly I expect VOD and home video release, for lucky a limited release, like Lords of Salem, but we'll see.
My pitch for Rob Zombie is have him take on the next Paranormal Activity and just have like a white trash family like moving into the house.
That would be amazing. They could do a little offshoot. That franchise, I would go to a theater see Paranormal Activity once in my life.
You would. I would too. The last couple I have waited for Blu-ray, but yeah, just Sherry Moon calling the ghost a cunt or something. You know what I mean? Just dirty it up a little bit. I don't know why everybody has a problem with the sort of white trash aspect of his movies. I never got it. Sometimes those people are really hilarious.
I agree with that. I didn't like the mix in Halloween. I loved that element, but I've always been one of it feels like two separate movies. I mean, up until he loses the pumpkin mask, I mean, I'd actually rather prefer that, and then you get the little mini Halloween remake at the end. I love that first half so much. It's like, not really Michael Myers in my head until we get that mask, and then I'm like kind of like, okay. I have a friend who will actually watch the remake up until the point he gets the mask, and he just puts on the original. Yeah,
it is. I hope people that have all this hostility because of the Halloween movies, that they'll at least give his new stuff a chance. I mean, Lords of Salem, some people loved that, some people hated it, but it's different. It's not a major franchise, so don't bring the the automatic hate to the next thing. 31 sounds like it's going to be a bit more straightforward, I think. I mean, of course, you never know until you watch it, but at least what I'm reading, I think that one's going to be a lot more straightforward than the other one. Like I said, I'm throwing it out there now. Paranormal Activity. Rob Zombie is the one to bring it back.
And I know he stated, like, pretty much from the beginning, tone-wise, it's supposed to be more along the lines of Devil's Rejects, which I think tone-wise is the best way. That's, still, in my opinion, his best film. I mean, that is the defining Rob Zombie film.
Mm-hmm. I think most people would tend to agree. I think Devil's Rejects seems to be the one that's endured now, a decade later. So like I said, it's retro now, and I think it's one that'll stay alive forever. I think I'd probably have to agree too. House of a Thousand Corpses, for all the warts that it does have, still holds a special place in my heart for just being different at a time when the genre needed different. So yeah, I look forward to it. And in other news, Clive Barker's The Entwined is going to be shooting next month. This is, of course, the brand new production from Barker with that Robert Hullocks is going to be directing. And this film follows a couple who find out that their destinies are entwined when an ancient and powerful spirit whose evil threatens to engulf them both. Not a whole lot of info on it, but again, it's Clive Barker, one of the main reasons that I am, in fact, a horror fan. So I'm excited about that. I keep hoping we'll get Tortured Souls. I haven't heard an update on that in, God, forever, but I love that toy line and some of the basic, little backstories on some of those characters. And God, if he could get that greenlit, that would be awesome. But I remember hearing something like almost a year ago now about him working on some Roman gladiator zombie flick, writing the script or something, and I haven't heard an update on that either. So hopefully we'll get some more Clive Barker coming our way.
Yeah.
And yes, and our last bit of news before we get into our reviews for the evening, Machete Kills in Space is apparently filming this year. Danny Trejo apparently confirmed this at a recent Mad Monster Party convention, and yeah. I got to ask you, Todd, I think we probably did talk about this, but did you care for the second Machete? Because I thought it was dangerously close to being shit.
I did, okay, I'll admit I had a few beers while watching it. I had fun with it. It wasn't as good as the first one, but I didn't hate it, but it's not one I throw in to review a lot, or rewatch. I think done right, this one can be a lot of fun.
It could. See, my problem is I hope they drop. See, it's hard to explain this. Machete was over the top, fun,
yes,
awesome, over the top. But then Machete Kills kind of went into Looney Tunes territory for me. In fact, I swear I think he took out a helicopter or something, there was even that sound effect, that boing sort of thing. And I was sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm watching just an R-rated Looney Tunes episode. And I just hope they don't continue with that tone into Machete Kills Space is going to be over the top, let's face it. I hope they can get back to the down and dirty style of the original, throw in a little
I remember one of the things that bothered me about Kills was the Walter Goggins Lady Gaga character, the one who just kept morphing.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid. That did nothing for me.
I thought it was dumb and unnecessary, because it's just I would have rather just had Walter Goggins on the stream the whole time, I mean, he's a good actor. He chews up the scenery.
Oh, yeah, justified, yeah.
Yeah. The Shield, and also one most people forget, he was also in House of 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It I don't know. It just seemed like a cheap way to kill their celebrities, and I don't know. It was just like an old joke. I don't know. I really did not care for Machete Kills at all, but seeing him in space could be interesting. I thought the last one kind of tanked, so I wasn't so sure we were going to get this, but I don't know. Maybe this one could end up going straight to VOD and Blu-ray, though. I don't know.
I'd be fine with that as long as I get to see it.
Yeah, I just hope they get a little more down and dirty. You had all, Alexa Vega, Sofia Vergara, all these, even the brothel stuff. I'm like, where's the nudity? It's in a goddamn brothel, Nothing. So we'll see. But yeah, I didn't think we'd see it. So we'll definitely review that one. I am actually going to get to, hopefully, because it's so fucking stacked, but Wizard World in May 7th weekend into the weekend. Trejo will be there, so if I get a chance to ask him about it, then I definitely will. So yeah, I think that's well, Todd. We had a few release date stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, there's some Arrow stuff. Arrow US, for the ones I will be discussing, it'll be Arrow US and the UK also. They announced yesterday they will be releasing the 80s Gorefest Blood Rage, also known as Nightmare in Shadow Woods. It'll be the first time it's ever available on DVD legitimately, much less Blu-ray and DVD. So that's actually a pretty big one. Also, no, it's UK only. I'm trying just to do the horror ones because there are a few. Well, I guess the other big one is Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive will be getting its first high-def release, and that has a U.S. street date of July 28th this year, and it'll be out in the UK the day before on the 27th, and they've already got specs and covers up on this one, and brand new 2K transfer, new introduction by Tobe Hooper. It's got a couple commentaries. And a lot of this stuff looks like it's been ported over. My Name is Buck, starring Robert Englund, discusses his career. Actually, there's a lot to list. I'm not going to go through all, but it's definitely a packed release. And like I said, it looks like they're porting over some of the Dark Sky features, which for us completists, we like to have everything. So. Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, both are pretty cool releases, and Arrow US is, like I've been saying, they're quickly becoming a contender.
They are. It's one of those cases where you wonder how much juice Scream Factory may have left, particularly at the end of this year, where, I mean, Jesus, they're releasing a crazy amount this year, and have already, for that matter. Arrow could be a company to watch out for.
I know that their Scream Factories are /Shout's biggest fear has to be them. If they hook up with Universal, they have all those special editions they've done in the UK ready out the gate. I mean, we could have The Burbs, People Under the Stairs, there's The Car. There's tons of already done over in the UK, and if they get, work out a deal with Universal US, they have, stuff ready to go. Good stuff, too.
Yeah, very good stuff. In fact, People Under the Stairs, I'm a huge fan, and I'd love to see a proper special edition of that here in the U.S. on, Region 1. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it could be an interesting battle of the companies again, because Scream Factory, I know for a lot of people, I mean, we've talked about it on the show before, there are people out there that will only buy from Scream Factory. They're like that loyal, which I think is insane. There's several other great companies out there, from, Synapse to Vinegar Syndrome, that, have a different catalog. But
those are the kind of fans that aren't going to last forever. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, that's true. But they are there. And
yeah, they are.
I've had a lot of conversations. It's like, well, if they're not putting it out, I'm not going to give anybody else the time of day. Yeah,
I've seen that on the board. Oh, can you release, Demons? And they're like, someone will be like, Synapse put it out. I don't want it then. It's not from Scream Factory. And I'm just like, I'm just using that as an example. I can't remember what it actually was, but I'm just like, okay, that makes zero sense. But
yeah, it is very strange. I've noticed that to a lesser extent with other groups where it's like, I'm loyal to this company. I don't shop, and it's very very odd. Of course, there've been a lot of like nastiness with more on Code Red's end on the boards, but with Vinegar Syndrome and like people like, I'm not going to buy from them, and I don't know, it's really silly. But hey, like I said, the more competition, the better. We the fans win. And,
I did hear, which I haven't heard if it's going to be region locked or not yet, but that 88 Films in the UK is going to be releasing the Nailgun Massacre.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I'm interested to see if that one's going to get locked, because if not, I know Bill has to be pissed.
Yeah, but isn't that almost sold out now? Because it was limited edition. I mean, isn't it essentially done?
Honestly, with that, I don't know if you'd sign a per unit contract. It's just, okay, I'm going to print up some more as long as his contract's still valid. So I really don't know how that works. But if he didn't have to lock his disc, I don't see them making 88 Films lock theirs, and it's going to be part of their slasher line. So
yeah, I mean, I will say I was very happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was very happy with the Code Red Blu-ray. So I don't necessarily know that I'd upgrade, but I am a fan of that movie. It's always possible. But yeah, speaking of Code Red, not really news at the moment because the store is down. But they opened again. I missed it, so I can't tell you everything. But the store did open up again, and they had some more out-of-print stuff, including The Carrier, which has been out of print for a little while now. And I think Bill, I'm just paraphrasing here, but I think he had said something along the lines of, don't worry, they're not gone yet. I know The Carrier was one that was back in print, and apparently once he gets out his new orders, the store will go back up. Like I said, it's 50-50 now with the Code Red store, so unfortunately, right. So you just pretty much got to keep refreshing the page and grab whatever you can. I don't know.
New title.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, no new titles lately. I'm surprised.
Oh, well, I did. You know who Allison Grace is, don't you?
Yes.
I guess, I don't know if I want to call her a Code Red worker, but maybe an unofficial Code Red worker. She made a post on one of the pages, I can't remember which one, with test discs, and I do remember Equalizer was one of them. Equalizer 3000 or 2000. Yeah.
Well, so, there is a big discussion on the Code Red's official group about the Nail Gun Massacre. I just pulled it up to try the website, and there'll be some fun reading later, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be an interesting thread with plenty of replies. But I don't know. At least all I can say is I'm happy we're at least hopefully getting the post-nuke stuff still. So that's what I'm waiting on. Some of the Corman stuff as well, hopefully.
I see it
will probably just come out of nowhere, so who knows?
Yeah, I do see the test discs for Equalizer 2000, and Legacy of Satan, and Blood.
Yeah. So at least we're going to get those, and Deadly Dreams. My God, that's been a while. I haven't heard anything else about that. That one seemed like it was all ready to go, and that hasn't come either. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some more of that good Santiago stuff, and yes. So moving on to our reviews. You know what? I guess we can probably tackle the non-horror one first. It's actually the last one that I watched, and that is Gone with the Pope, the 1976 film from Duke Mitchell. And from the back cover, lost for over 30 years, Gone with the Pope stars famed nightclub performer Duke Mitchell as Paul, a paroled gangster with an unholy scheme to kidnap the Pope and charge $1 from every Catholic in the world as ransom. Shot in 1975, Gone with the Pope was unfinished at the time of Duke Mitchell's death in 1981. Sage Stallone and Bob Murawski of Grindhouse Releasing rediscovered Gone with the Pope in 1995 and vowed to save it from obscurity. They spent 15 years completing it from the surviving film elements. So this definitely, I didn't realize it went as far back as 20 years. This has been a movie that it seems like I've waited to see it forever. They had a screening not far from me at I want to say Alamo, but I could be wrong. But somewhere, I think Ashburn, Virginia, or something not terribly far from me. And I didn't get to see it. And then I thought, well, it's coming out anyways. And surely enough, that was 4 years ago, Todd, or something like that.
Right.
And finally, I got to see it. So obviously, this is not a horror film. This is a cult film, and a lot of things, really. It's kind of hard to totally define this. Obviously, kind of a grindhouse take on The Godfather. At times, a surprisingly deep movie on religion and Catholicism, and random moments of just crazy, sleazy excess that makes for a really interesting, if not traditionally great film. I liked it a lot. Like I said, it's very unusual. There is probably the scene with the hooker, this black hooker, with Duke Mitchell was probably one of the most blatantly racist things I have ever seen. I'm not even going to quote his dialogue, but
I'm biting my tongue on one particular one that had me cracking up for like 20 minutes. So you'll have to see it for yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say when Todd and I can't repeat it, it's pretty fucked up. But that's not the whole movie, though. See, that's the thing. I don't know exactly who to recommend this to because it's definitely crazy. You can tell, obviously, that it's a incomplete film or was an incomplete film. You have that scene where he gets a rather large lady off the street to have a threesome with himself and his sleeping friend. And, there's like all this offensive shit, but then at the same time, like I said, it's like there's this bizarre, serious tone that pops into it. With the Pope, who they, of course, do in fact kidnap. That's not really the whole movie, though. Yeah, I mean, Todd, what did you think? Did this one live up to your expectations?
Yeah, and it's funny because I hadn't seen Massacre Mafia Style yet either, and I'd watched that one actually right before and kind of had myself a Duke Mitchell double feature. Mm-hmm. And with that one complete, I mean, you could see this one wasn't, but I think Grindhouse pulled out, pretty stellar job to get it the way it is. I liked it. I thought it is one of those that is, the tones all over the place. But I mean, one of the highlights for me, and because I love like old Vegas, so you have a lot of shots of that in there.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Which was really cool. I was like, hey, I remember that hotel, that one. Yeah, but I agree. It's like, who do I recommend it to? I mean, other than you. Yeah. I mean, I love various just regional rarities from back in the day. For a horror audience, I mean, obviously, like I said, it's not even as violent as I had heard it was. So it's tough to really recommend it for the horror crowd unless you do enjoy other stuff. Because I could see a lot of people really looking at this movie and thinking, why the fuck are we having a serious conversation on religion when we just watch these two Italian dudes double team this woman? It's definitely a lost Grindhouse film. So if you like that Grindhouse era filmmaking, which you never really knew what you were going to get in the non-horror stuff, it's definitely, I think, one, if you go in knowing and you like that kind of stuff, that's just batshit. You don't know what's going to happen. You could get a serious, drama with some random shit in it, and because it was so all over the place back then,
Oh yeah. You're definitely right. You never quite knew what you were getting yourself into. The
poster could tell you. The poster could tell you something completely different.
Yeah, I know. You could be maybe going into a slasher film and get an anti-drug film. You just never knew. It could be anything. Yeah. You could get women in prison and think, you were watching a serious drama or something. It was an interesting time, and this is definitely a good example of that. The shift in tone is pretty crazy, and there's a lot of bad acting. There's some obviously not pro actors in this, but that didn't really none of that really ruined it for me, though. Personally, no. On a personal level, for other people, it really might.
there's some obvious looping due to lost sound too here and there.
Yeah, definitely. But I can recommend it to fans for extra features because it's Duke Mitchell. Duke Mitchell's an interesting guy, actually. I mean, he's managed to become an unlikely cult icon, and they talk a little bit about him in some of the extra features. He was apparently very much like his character, kind of difficult to get along with. There's some funny stories. He was legit great friends with Sinatra, and apparently he shoved Mia Farrow into a pool at their wedding, which didn't go over too well. There's a lot of fun. She suffered enough in her relationship.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of funny stories.
She's one who went the other way with her next husband, with Woody.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Hopefully Mia can just meet like a nice guy.
Yeah. That one didn't end well. That one didn't end well for her either.
Yeah. Yes. That one most definitely did not end well. I don't know. Maybe she should have hooked up with Duke. I don't know. But it's obviously, or maybe she did, probably. Obviously, this would have been so interesting if we could have heard, in 2015 from Duke Mitchell and had an in-depth interview with him. I mean, that guy obviously has some pretty amazing stories to tell, and it's just a shame. It seems like a guy, sit down, what's with the threesome scene, what's with the blatant racism. Like I said, that scene alone, that's where it's like, you in a theater, you would be cringing in your seat with the dialogue.
I have to admit, though, the one thing that kind of made me sad watching some of the extras, because, this was a passion project for Sage, that he never got to see the final release project. I mean, those who don't know, Sage Stallone, Sylvester's son, passed alone a few years ago. And they kind of bummed me out, because, I mean, he always seemed like he was like one of us. Well, I meant the final release product,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, because, he was always one that was like one of us who, just went out and started a company because he had the money. But, I mean, he loved all this weird horror exploitation shit. I mean, he'll actually factor into our next, one of our later reviews that he was passionate about, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was. I mean, he seemed, and I never met Sage Stallone, so I'm kind of going through other people's experiences.
Yeah.
I do know people who've met him, and said that he wasn't like what you would expect, being the son of, at least at one time, arguably the biggest star in the entire world. So, he really followed his own path and had a passion for movies like this. I'm sure he could have gone into some more mainstream pursuits if he really wanted to. But no,
he was in stuff like Chaos, which was another one of my favorites. But definitely not one of them. I don't know. He's taking that home
for Daylight.
He did. So I don't know if he's taking that with his dad. Do you want to see my new movie, Pops?
I don't. Yeah, I bursting in on him while he's shooting horse tranquilizers into his face.
Well, Chaos is making one big hole and shit.
I was gonna say Stallone needs to cool it soon, or you're literally not gonna. He's not gonna be able to pronounce words anymore. that dude's like almost 70, or he's pretty close to 70 now, and I don't know. At 70 years old, I shouldn't be able to think a guy could punch a hole through a brick wall. I mean, just ridiculous. But hey, we're getting another Rambo, I know. So
yeah, I'm still in for Over the Top too. Even Cobra 2 I'll take.
Yeah, I don't know if. Do you ever remember that skit on SNL with Stallone?
Oh my God!
I can't. Where they were trashing him. Yeah, it was Norm Macdonald. I was trying to think which one did it. And yeah, he was sitting there literally taking a piss on Stallone's entire career.
Oh yeah, he had just gotten in a car crash, and he's like, "Stop, or my mom will shoot." It was horrible as he's died. He's just trashing all of his movies. And
I don't think I've watched SNL since then, but
I still quote one of my favorite lines he said in that, and I still say it to every time Over the Top comes up. The greatest arm wrestling child custody case move ever.
You know what's funny though? I haven't watched that since I was a little kid, but I liked it as a little kid.
Oh,
I had no problem buying it.
I had the toys. I had maybe the only one, but I had the little arm wrestler toys. I watched it recently. It's a canon movie, so that's what it is.
Yeah. I'll revisit it someday, but anyways, ranking this one.
Oh Jesus!
Obviously,
I didn't even think. I didn't even think about giving it an actual number. I mean,
the packaging would be a 5 for me. I think they obviously put their heart and soul into getting this package together, and like I said, there's plenty of cool stuff here. And I should also throw out it's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. I don't think I said that yet. So for those of you that don't own a Blu-ray player, so a 5 for the package. The movie itself, like I said, it's really tough. It'd be a higher rating for me personally, but I can't go higher than a 3.5 just because, like you said, there's maybe 20% of the people listening might truly get something out of it. Because, like I said, some of the wild and crazy stuff, it's just not the entire film. It's all over the place. But the wild and crazy shit certainly was entertaining. So 3.5 and a 5 for the package. I don't regret picking this up.
I don't either. I'm close to a 3 on this one. Probably also because I just watched Mafia Massacre Style right before, and that was so much more of a complete film, I think, in my opinion. I give it a 3 and definitely a 5 on package.
What do you feel? See, this is when I was watching, and I'm saying to myself, somebody's got to remake this, and really maybe remake it with a more specific vision. Like I said, I'm not an anti-remake guy. This is something that I think could make a hell of a remake. I think they'd have to make it a little more difficult to, in fact, kidnap the Pope. But,
can we get Rob Zombie to do that one?
Yeah. Everything's more interesting with Rob Zombie, Tyler Mane, and company just posing as I'd love to just see Sid Haig and company just dressed.
Well, Sid Haig would have to be the Pope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he would make sense as the Pope. I don't know. God, we're coming up with all sorts of great Rob Zombie vehicles.
I know.
They need to start paying us. If he directs the next Paranormal Activity, I'm just saying somebody needs to line my pockets for that one. But Gone with the Pope would definitely be meant for that. So yes, we can dick around all day on Gone with the Pope, but we should move on. Todd, should we do our musical break yet, or hit another movie? What do you think?
Oh, jeez. Let's go to. I'm assuming we'll jump into our other retro Grindhouse title.
Yes, I suppose we might as well do those.
Then we'll do. Yeah. Let's do that, then we'll go to our break. On the fly here, live.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a crazy couple of weeks, so we appreciate you bearing with us. But yes, another Grindhouse Releasing Blu. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and at our earlier time today, next week we'll be back to normal.
Yes. So anybody wondering what the hell's up with 6:30, particularly those of you probably on the East Coast like me, we'll be back to regular time next week. So, yes, The Beyond, of course, from Lucio Fulci. If you don't know that, you probably really need to do your homework. This is a 1981 film from Lucio Fulci, and from the back cover, from legendary Italian horror master Lucio Fulci comes the ultimate classic of supernatural terror. A cursed hotel built over one of the 7 gateways to hell becomes a malevolent abyss that begins devouring both the bodies and the souls of all who enter. In a graphic frenzy of gory crucifixions, brutal chain whippings, eyeball impalements, sulfuric acid meltdowns, flesh-eating tarantulas, throat-shredding demon dogs, and ravenous, bloodthirsty zombies. God, they know how to really write a synopsis, don't they? Beyond is a towering achievement in hair-raising, mind-bending cinematic terror. So, obviously, we're Fulci fans.
Yes.
You know, another major reason why I am a horror fan. Todd, well, I'll let you go first with this one because I think it's a masterpiece. And I don't know what else to say about it. What do you think about the movie itself?
Yeah, agreed. It's a masterpiece. It's definitely, you know, the top of Fulci's list. I know some people are going to argue Zombie, but I can't agree with that one. I mean, as much as I love Zombie, this is his. You know, this is. I mean, in pretty much every respect, it is the definitive, you know, Lucio Fulci film. Because, you know, a lot of his stuff's out there, and the you know, Zombie seems a little too normal for Fulci for me. But this, I mean, visually, it's beautiful. I know a lot of people, especially in his later work, are kind of down on Fulci's look, because, I mean, you have Dario Argento doing his thing. But if you look at this one, I mean, this one is definitely beautiful. Yeah, I mean, you know, people talk about the beauty and the gore, and this is a good example of that. I know zombie fans, you know, the one thing I always hear is, well, there wasn't enough. I mean, it's not really a zombie movie. I guess we should probably throw that out there for those who haven't seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. I mean, from the, you know, your opening few minutes, the tone is set with, you know, the violence, and I mean, actually, it kind of escalates from there as we go on. But I mean, story-wise, I mean, there are some things that are a little, you know, out there, but to be expected in a Fulci film. I don't know. I don't know what there is bad to say about this one. I mean, I'm not that I'm trying, but
no, absolutely not. I have nothing bad to say about it. You know, Italian cinema in general, which I'm a fan of, and I know you're a huge fan of as well. You know, particularly giallos. You get stuff that didn't always necessarily make sense, but you know, what is horror but, you know, fear of the unknown. And I think this is a masterpiece. I mean, just, this is, if you're a horror fan, you have to see The Beyond. There's just no other way around it. I mean, you have to see The Beyond. It has the atmosphere, the look, plenty of nasty stuff for the gore hounds that holds up to this day. You know, it's one of those films that, to me, really does not possess a flaw. I mean, you know, turn the lights out, sit down and watch it, and it will, I mean, it will rock your world. I think it's even one that will hold up with the new generation of horror fans that haven't seen it, you know, that haven't seen all the classics. You know, it's one I would put up right up there, you know, Suspiria and all the, you know, the titans of Italian horror, you know, from that era, and even going back to stuff like, you know, Black Sunday and, you know, all these great films. I mean, The Beyond is right up there. You have to see it. And yeah, I don't think it's lost anything. I think that, if anything, it actually is even more powerful. I mean, the eye stuff that, you know, of course, Fulci is known for, and you know, even some of the stuff that you can kind of spot that it's not obviously necessarily realistic. I mean, the dog kill, that freaked me the fuck out as a kid because that came out of nowhere. That dog just fucking gets possessed and starts tearing her apart. It's I don't know. Like I said, the masterpieces tend to be the more basic reviews because I just can't pick at anything that I can think of. And, yeah, it's a perfect horror film as far as I'm concerned. And 5 stars on the movie, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should probably talk, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, I think, to say you'd give it 5 as well.
Yes,
correct? Or am I putting words? Okay. I didn't.
Absolutely.
It. But the edition, what did you think, Todd?
I think this is now the definitive edition. I'm sorry, Arrow, who's up until now, I mean, was the one to beat, because that one definitely beat.
There were some complaints about their edition, though, too.
There was, and I'm actually just specifically talking about extra-wise, because this transfer definitely blows theirs. Well, I can't even say blows theirs out of the water, because there was a few little hiccups on theirs. But, and honestly, there is one complaint about this one, also, and that's there's a couple pops on the mono track. I was like, really? That's what we're to the point of? There's a couple pops on the mono track? That's how I watch the film, because I am definitely a purist when it comes to that. And there's probably a couple pops here and there, but I mean, it's, an old mono track. I wasn't stressing it. So but I know people have complained about that. But back to the extras. Yeah, overall, it took me a while to get through everything on that one, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say there was a couple things that didn't get ported over because they're up, locked up with Anchor Bay, Blue Underground, or I can't remember who produced those. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think anything was missed. I mean, all the information covered here. There's some new stuff covered. I mean, well, I know probably for us there's a lot less new than most. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But it was still fun even hearing the old stories again. I mean, for new people newer to the film, or even that haven't seen the other stuff, this is definitely, in my opinion, the way to go. And if you can grab the limited edition packaging while you still can, I'd say go for it. Okay, wait, I just have to stop and ask. Did you check your glow-in-the-dark cover?
No, I did not.
Okay. There's 2 variants. I'm curious which one you got. we'll have to talk about that later, because there's one where it's like the eyes and there's a little bit of glow. Then there's one that's like almost a whole cover glows.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll check that during the break if I can snag my snack in time.
Okay, but so that's a little thing. I mean, people, it glows. I mean, I don't think that's going to make or break anyone's decision which glowing cover or the fact that it has one. But we can't fail to mention it also includes the soundtrack. It comes in a nice, I don't know which kind of slipcover these are called, but the heavy duty sliding ones, not like the standard slipcover. Comes in the Anchor Bay style case, not the Anchor Bay, the Criterion style case, like all the Grindhouse releases have been doing of late. I'm trying to think of anything specific extra-wise. The comic carriers reported over. The overall package, I mean, we could probably talk about the extras as long as the rest of the show.
new interviews and.
Yeah.
I mean, simply put, it's everything you could possibly want or expect. I mean, this one's a 5 and 5 for me. I mean, I can't. I mean, a few.
I agree. I mean,
on a mono track. Come on.
Yeah. The main feature of the main documentary alone is a nice healthy length, and I mean, really, even if you just watch that, I mean, you get pretty much all you need to know. Then you get the little in-depth interviews with a few other people. Mm-hmm. I can't say enough good things about this and recommend it. I mean, if you're a first-timer seeing this, presentation-wise, extra-wise, this is 100% the way to go.
Yeah, it's a good place to start too if you've always wanted to get into Fulci and just haven't for whatever reason.
I was going to say this is definitely the gateway Fulci. This and Zombie. I can't even say, Zombie is definitely the other. Those are the two.
Yeah,
people.
I've always enjoyed Fulci though. I mean, even some of his quote lesser films, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that I hate. I mean, I love stuff like Conquest and Voices and everything else that he's done. Even that some people have.
House of Clocks.
Definitely not as good as his classics, but I've always found something to enjoy. So this is definitely a place to start. And speaking of Todd, I believe our musical break here is from the film, correct?
That would be correct. I figure we might as well tie it in as we've been trying to do as much as we can.
Absolutely.
So we are going to give you a little bit of Lucio Fulci's Lucio Fulci's The Beyond, and we'll be back in just under 4 minutes.
we are back, correct, Todd?
Yes, we are. You went off making hot pockets. I know I didn't give you your full 4 minutes. I was kind of unsure.
Nah, I took some swig of my energy drink, so I actually kind of missed. Do you remember I haven't been able to find it. Remember Steven Seagal's energy drink?
I do not.
Oh, you didn't. You missed the out on the awesomeness, Todd. He had a great acai berry energy drink. I thought maybe they'd still have it. Maybe, I don't know, California or something. I don't know if it was discontinued or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just lowly Mountain Dew kickstart. I have not enjoyed the awesomeness of the Steven Seagal one in a while, but I don't know. I was just thinking of that, and now I'm sad.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Sorry.
Well, it's all good. I thought hope maybe lived on in wonderful sunny California, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have better luck. Maybe it still exists in Florida. We'll see. Maybe we'll give you a special shout out on the show if you can send me a case of Steven Seagal energy drinks. I don't know. I want that bad enough that maybe I can talk the other Horror Society people into donating, I don't know, a DVD or something, because I'm sad.
Maybe you can find some on eBay if worse comes to worse.
Yes.
You know, just delivered at your house at this point, but...
Yeah, you never know. Maybe there's one that got lost.
Okay, I was going to say, how can his old slow ass have an energy drink?
Maybe that's what keeps him standing upright at this point.
I was going to say, his energy comes from them switching up the frame rate so he looks faster.
He has to have the energy to keep up with those sex slaves that he keeps in his house. Did you hear that story a while back where he was apparently like, I don't know, it was something like some secretary or something. He was shooting that Lawman show, which said Louisiana. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know where he shot that.
That sounds right. I couldn't be 100%. I'll admit I wasn't a series regular.
Yeah, but there was some. You can Google the full story, but they had like he was like apparently like auditioning secretaries, you know, who do a little extra on the side. Apparently,
oh, wow.
I don't know if I can really. I won't say who the director is because I think he said it in private. I don't think it was ever on the show, but I remember an interesting story with him and an actress on the set of a certain later in his career movie that was pretty funny. He definitely likes his women, and allegedly some of the more liberal countries when it comes to escorts. So yeah, random tangent. I guess.
I guess what the question is now: when are we going to see Expendables 4 or one of the follow-ups?
You think? I don't know if Expendables might be dead. I know the last one that had leaked didn't do as well. I'm shocked that they don't do spin-off movies direct to DVD. I mean, shit, these guys most of them are doing direct to DVD Blu Ray action flicks. Why not have a Dolph Lundgren Gunner story? Use the Expendables name almost as, American Pie, perhaps started to do with some of their random, barely connected films.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea from Lionsgate. I mean, get those guys some money, and those will rent probably even sell well.
I think they probably would, and maybe, I don't know, maybe direct to disc is a way they can make it a little bit more authentic 80s action flick. Lower budget. Maybe we can get Billy Drago as the main villain, which I've been screaming from the rooftops since they announced the first one. I don't know, get Dudikoff in there and really give people something that they really want to see. Not that I haven't hated any of the Expendables films, but they could be better. But strangely enough, Antonio Banderas stole the last one, I think. The rest of them, which was a surprise. But anyways, moving on, I do have a solo review for you guys, and it is for the new film Come Back to Me from director Paul Layden. And this film follows Sarah and Josh, who are a young married couple living in suburban Las Vegas after a car accident. After a car accident, Sarah decides life is short and she and her husband should start a family and begin to live every moment of their lives to the fullest. But shortly after, she begins to suffer a series of disturbing memory lapses and frequent blackouts that seem to be increasing in intensity. Not sure what is happening and feeling as if she's losing her mind, Sarah finds out she is pregnant and subsequently, to her shock, that her husband is sterile. As her marriage and the world begin to fall apart, she makes a desperate attempt to find the truth by planting a hidden camera in her home. What she discovers is both horrific and life-altering and involves a dark secret, which I'm not going to get into the description anymore because I think it reveals a little bit too much. But this film is based on a novel that I actually read by Ralph James White called The Resurrectionist. And for you horror literature fans, Ralph James White is fantastic. He's kind of sort of in the same vein as Edward Lee and has done some pretty, in fact, he even co-wrote a couple books with Edward Lee, some pretty fucked up stuff, which this is not one. When I picked this up, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, okay, Todd might want to review that one with me. And it just looked like a fairly typical ghost flick. And it wasn't even until after I bought it that I looked close enough and saw it was based on The Resurrectionist, which is a great book. Very, very twisted and unique, but maybe also a little more accessible to some people that might not want to, like the Teratologist, for example. That's a particularly fucked up book from Edward Lee and Ralph James White. So yeah, this is definitely not just your typical sort of ghost flick that I thought it might be. This is, well, definitely supernatural, but this is not ghosts. The acting is stellar from this couple. The actors, Katie Walder and Matt Passmore, they deal with a particular character who is quite creepy, a very strange neighbor who seems to take a liking to the female lead, and I don't want to reveal too much, but it is pretty twisted. This isn't a twisted film so much in what they show, because they hold back a little bit. If I can recall in the book's a little more graphic, obviously.
Right.
This, Todd, I think you will actually enjoy it quite a bit when they kind of reveal what's going on with her. I do have a couple logic issues with it in a couple spots that, again, it's kind of more spoilers to get into that. But overall, this was a creepy-ass flick with a very original premise that I really had not heard of before until, obviously I read the book and then saw this movie. I can't even warn people because there is some somewhat disturbing stuff that I usually tend to warn people about, just, one of those sort of things, but it's not overly graphic, and that would be getting into spoilers. So let's just say it could be a little extra creepy for female audiences, but like I said, it's not a gore flick. It's not just trying to be as shocking as possible, which this certainly could have been with the premise. They play it fairly straight, but it works. Like I said, it really works. It manages to be disturbing without maybe being as graphic as it certainly could have been. Again, if there's anything bad I could say about it, maybe a couple minor things in terms of decisions and ways maybe that she could have, fought back earlier on and avoided some things. But all in all, great flick. Just cookie cutter looking cover. It's not one that I see a lot of people picking up. They might just look at it and think, oh, okay, another one of those. Definitely worth you guys checking out. I believe I paid like $10 at Walmart, if I recall. And I'm glad I did. And also get the paperback from Ralph James White if you can, and perhaps you can make some more comparisons. I wish I had read it a little bit closer together with this, then I could kind of tell you how close to the book it was. It's definitely a little bit different, though. But I recommend this one highly. I mean, I give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's well worth checking out. It's not same old shit, and the actors are definitely someone to keep your eyes on. I love the way this film also ended. It's got a great ending. A lot of these films tend to lose it with the ending, but this one actually manages to keep the momentum up for a pretty cool ending that was unique. So yes, 4 out of 5 stars for Come Back to Me. And with that being said, I guess we'll get into our last film before we talk about Walking Dead. Our last film review for the evening is Digging Up The Marrow from director Adam Green. And from the back cover, what if the ghastly images and abominations haunting our collective nightmares actually exist? Writer-director Adam Green sets out to make a documentary exploring this tantalizing premise after being contacted by a mysterious man named William Decker, played by Ray Weiss. Decker claims he can prove that monsters are real and insists these grotesque creatures are forgotten, hideously deformed humanoids inhabiting a vast underground metropolis. Determined to expose the truth, Green embarks on a bone-chilling odyssey and gets more than he bargained for when he dares to go digging up the marrow. So, Todd, what did you think about this one? I have some strong views on it.
Yeah, first I would say I went in totally blind. I didn't know the premise. I'd heard it, being discussed. I mean, I think we may have touched upon it as it was, announcements were coming out, but I didn't retain a lot of that information. So I feel like I went in pretty much totally blind, not knowing the concept. And I thought it was a cool idea. It was different. To be honest, so I don't know if this plays off the show at all. I have not watched Holliston because I don't get FearNet on DirecTV. I have the Blu Ray, I just haven't watched them yet. I guess people you know his personality from that, so I kind of just went in, dry on that. It's a weird one because it's not really found footage because I guess it would be a mockumentary. It was cool. It was interesting, but I don't want to. It's weird. I liked it. I think something was missing. I mean, I recommend it because I did enjoy it. I don't know. The monsters were extremely cool. I liked the concept. I think there was just something missing on explanation-wise, not to get too spoilers, with Ray Weiss, Decker's character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this one, for me, I'll start off with the good. The film, at points, manages to be incredibly suspenseful and scary. And obviously that's a big compliment. There were scenes when they were out there in the woods and we first saw a couple of the monsters, which makeup is absolutely stellar. That just works perfect. The film was shot apparently over 4 years, and my biggest complaint tends to come with the fact that it does end pretty abrupt, where it felt like we need to see a little bit more as to what's going on. It is one of those movies later, maybe you want to talk to people about it. We don't get into spoilers on our movies, but there's some interesting theories. It's one you want to pay attention to. There's a lot more to it than you might think, and you might want to pay attention to certain things characters say, and some of it's a little debatable, some of it's not. But what I loved about this film is just some of the horrors that they put in your head. Of course, this is definitely there's some inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft and the Pickman's model in particular, and I just love that stuff. I'm a big Lovecraft fan, and some of the stuff they don't directly show you was really fascinating to me. In fact, you could make all sorts of comparisons to Nightbreed, with this film. Not exactly like this one. In fact, this one really, I think, goes more for the fear, obviously. Another complaint that I could make, although truthfully I didn't mind him, Adam Green, he's great on Holliston. He's a pretty good, likable, sort of comedic guy. I probably would have done things a little bit differently, though, and had a different actor in the lead. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, something they didn't click, because I can see, like in this, while I can see people not like, that's why I said I haven't watched Holliston, so I don't really know his personality. I hear nothing but good things on that, and I've seen he interviews well. And he interviews well and stuff, and I have met him too, and he is. But I can see his character being kind of a turnoff to people who aren't, familiar with him. I mean, I don't know if it's that his personality doesn't lend well for the material. Like you said, a different actor,
A lot of people are going to have very specific thoughts about this movie, and that's why it's like I said, it's very much worth watching, because it's a movie you'll talk about after you watch it. Obviously, he's trying to prove that monsters exist, or Ray Weiss is, or isn't, depending, as you'll see when you watch the film. Some of the reactions to certain things, I don't know if they were completely realistic, but it is a very intriguing movie that definitely left me wanting more. In fact, I would much rather see Digging Up the Marrow 2 than I would another Hatchet film. Not that I mind seeing another Hatchet film, but I would certainly hope, if this does well, that Adam Green might make it a priority. Apparently, he has talked about it, so we might get a chance to see it. I'd love to. There could even be possible prequel potential here, because I don't know how I feel about doing another one of these with Adam Green in a major role. Ray Weiss is about as good as they come in terms of acting. Yeah. So I'd love to, perhaps see a prequel going back to certain things.
What is he gonna? He's trying to get Cronenberg to do his documentary in that one.
Yeah,
I did think the little part with Mick Garris and Tom Holland was
Tom Holland.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil that, but I did think that was. I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, you get that sense. He made this film really work. Like I said, obviously shooting some stuff at conventions, shooting some stuff in between. I think just his actual, to and from schedule and travels, and all in all, it works pretty well. And again, I did not hate Adam Green in this. I
didn't either.
Felt, I don't know, and maybe it is the fact that he is one of these directors that has managed to become famous, which really there aren't that many, directors that are kind of celebrities themselves, and
Eli Roth
may
is
have added.
another one in Eli Roth's another one in our community.
Yeah, exactly. Eli Roth and Adam Green, I had the pleasure of meeting them before they were a big deal. I met Adam Green when he was promoting Hatchet at Fangoria Weekend of Horrors. It hadn't even come out yet, and I mean, just watching the guy around the convention, I mean, he was just, a normal guy. He just loved the stuff. You could tell he had all that enthusiasm. Eli Roth, who now has got some pretty big mainstream success, same story. Although I know Chris had an interesting meeting with Eli Roth around the same time that I did.
Yeah, I know. The one thing I have to, honestly feel bad for Eli Roth, because he used to just love running around doing this thing at conventions, and he can't really do that now.
It's tough to do. There's a that when you're doing conventions, your career is at least stalled, if not died. And some people are told not to. In fact, there was a rumor at one point that Norman Reedus was going to stop because they just felt, well, you're a hot star right now. But knowing what Norman Reedus makes on conventions, obviously, he opted to go against.
And that's the thing. Since the Fango one died, because that's when all the studios would come and they'd, Anchor Bay would be there, Lionsgate would be there. They'd all be there to come and we're going to go promote. It was basically, the horror Comic-Con. And since they stopped doing conventions with Creation, it just kind of ended it, and it turned it into more of a retro. Which kind of sucks because I really loved the Fango ones. I mean, I was more into the retro stuff anyway, but it was cool, when they were all the studios there giving out all their free shits.
Oh yeah. I remember one of the. I saw David Arquette there promoting the Tripper. I got to talk to him for actually a good long while. I mean, it was more of a, I'm just hanging out kind of deal. Yui Bowl, who I met, and in fact, he actually, I don't know what the hell it even is. It's like, I even found it the other day because I'm going through stuff for our move, and it's like blueprints from some movie. It's really weird. I have to, but he signed it. It's like, take this too. You're, a great fan. It was at that time where he was really getting heavy shit. And he was there to promote, I think it was the Blood Rain sequel, the Alone in the Dark sequel, and a bunch of stuff he was doing. And he seemed really just happy that he had somebody that enjoyed his film. I may have embellished how much I enjoyed his film a little bit.
Not all of us can be Mr. McGibbon and tell it like it is. Some of us tend to have try to have tact when you're there face to face. But
well, if I recall, didn't Chris tell Eli Roth, because he watched Cabin Fever finally, and didn't he see him later? And he's like, "Well, if you want my honest opinion, I hated it. I thought it was really awful." I was like, "There's no way I could do that."
Yeah, it pretty much. I feel on that. And I love Cabin Fever, so I was fine either way. It was funny though, because there was one when Lionsgate was promoting, and they were giving away stuff. They're like, "Oh, you guys want to go to a free screening?" We're like, "Yeah, we got For High Tension tonight." I was like, "Oh, we already seen that." I had to import DVD. Thank you. I'll give it to somebody who hasn't seen it. And but
I miss the way they did it, because it was. I mean, getting into the Creation conventions in general were very expensive, but you got a lot of free stuff there. It was. I enjoyed the way they did it.
And all the big headliners that were there to promote signed for free. You just had to wait in the line. I know the big one for us was you bought the VIP. You got pretty much everyone their signature. And I mean, I paid $225 for the 2-day pass, but all the autographs alone, I mean, I wouldn't have, got that many,
Oh, absolutely. And, and then we will get back to the movie, I promise.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We are reviewing.
I have one of those giant banners signed by everybody at the convention. I mean, I've got people like Stan Winston was there, David Arquette, Arlie Ermey. They had promoting Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a whole bunch of cool people hanging above my steps. I spent, actually, strangely enough, I didn't spend nearly as much on that as you would expect for a banner signed by like 100 people.
Was there two of them?
Two of the same banner? Actually, no. I don't.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Because that was the thing at ours, the last one, because I was bidding on one, and there were two. They had the one that was on the left and the right of the stage, and they were both all signed by everyone. So the first one got up to a certain point. The first one got to a certain point. I want to say it wasn't too bad. It might have been like $250, $260. And I was like, and I'll be like, okay, if it's going for that much, the next one's going to go cheaper. So it went to that, whatever, and the next one sold for like $460. I was like, okay, note to self for the future, get the first one. Because that actually makes sense because people want that's the last one, so it's your last opportunity. So
oh, yeah,
I learned my lesson.
At that point. I think I
learned my lesson.
I spent like, I don't know, just under $300.
Yeah,
which
see,
to me,
not bad.
No, for a giant banner signed by everyone at the convention. I mean, everybody from Tim Pone to, the actual big name celebrities. I mean, it was like, well, I could always resell it.
I remember Argento was on that one, but the thing I remember Argento was, they weren't happy with him at our convention because he just walks around signing, taking pictures. He doesn't give a crap. And they were, selling their autograph tickets and their photo ops. And he just sign you.
You get you do get those creepers that will wait and try and catch the celebrities on the way to the elevator, which can tend to. I remember. Last story, and I promise we'll get back to the movie. A recent convention that I'd went to with a former friend. I remember he tried that with like Robert Englund, and everybody was trying to get free pictures with Robert Englund while he was at the bar. And Robert Englund, who's really nice, actually told him no. Just try and catch me after I eat. And my friend got really pissed off at Robert Englund after that, but yes. Without further ado, back to the movie. We apologize, but it kind of connects to this one, so it's not totally.
Yeah, it is in that world.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Digging Up the Marrow. Like I said, it's scary. It's different. It's not the same old crap. Not the same old sort of found footage or even mockbuster for that matter. And it's scary. I mean, what else could you want? The movie actually manages to be pretty scary, and it's not perfect. I would have rathered, a proper actor rather than Adam Green, but at the same time, I understand why, perhaps he was there. Holliston, I know, is very popular. I don't know if I'm behind or not. I've watched the first 2 seasons. I do like Holliston, but you're going to have differing opinions on this one, but I like it. I do hope there's a sequel because there are certain things I'd like to see more of, but I give this one 3.5 out of 5. There's not, it's not quite a classic, but I had a hell of a fun time watching it, and at the very least, I would recommend it for a Netflix or a rental of some kind. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Overall, I'd agree. I did overall like it. Our complaint's pretty similar on this one. I give it close to a 3. I wanted a little bit, even though I didn't know what I was getting, once I got the concept, I was kind of expecting a little bit different, and I kind of wanted a little bit more information. And a 3's not bad. I mean, I don't want everyone to say, oh, that's low. I also, too, would look forward to see a continuation. So hopefully it does well. I mean, I don't regret buying the Blu-ray at all.
No.
So
$10
hopefully,
Best Buy, I believe. Yeah.
I paid more than that, damn it.
Oh, you did?
Not much for it. I think it was $12.99 off Amazon.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, still more than worth it. And for the ladies, you do get to see some partial Ray Weiss nudity. So there you go. For any of you out there, that might be an incentive to buy it. So yeah, and like I said, it's rare to get like really good Lovecraft inspired stuff. So this is I consider this still one of the better sort of Lovecraft adaptations, particularly recently, I should say. There haven't been a lot of great ones. So yes, that's it in terms of our film reviews, but obviously Walking Dead finale, at this point, we're assuming you watched it, otherwise somebody's surely spoiled it for you already, but, we do hard spoilers here.
If not, if you made it this far, we don't want to be the ones to spoil it for you, so just come back and finish once you've heard it. We won't talk about anything of importance after.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm a member of so many groups at this point, and I'm kind of coming to the limit on Facebook friends, and it's funny looking at it after, and all the people complaining is like, can't you motherfuckers just wait to spoil the goddamn show? Some of us have to work. There's like all these like angry posts.
I honestly, did not see a lot for this one on my feed.
Yeah, because nobody major died.
I think that's the main reason.
I apologize, my dog's being a dick. But yeah, no, it's she's looking at me right now at the top of the steps, knowing that I'm not going to chase her while I'm doing a radio show. But yeah, no, it's my corgi Dalek. She's just she's nuts. But anyways, she'll get tired of barking at the cat soon enough. But nobody major died, and they kind of hinted at that. Not that it needed to, because my God, did they fucking kill people this season? But it was another great episode for me, though. I felt seeing Morgan back, I thought was great, and kind of like Morgan's turned into a full-on samurai over the last couple years. I thought
heard that I mastered about it in round 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I really... again, it was an interesting episode. I don't know if Gabriel's going to stop being such a fucking douche at this point, because, my God, did he piss me off with that random, they're all sinners and they don't deserve to be here speech that he gave.
Yeah.
It's funny, I saw one post that in particular made me laugh, because obviously the killing of black characters has been a discussion more so than ever lately, with Noah and Tyrese going, but everybody's like, my God, if you're going to kill off the black guy, kill Gabriel. It was a funny post I saw after the episode, last week.
If we're going to get into all that, where's the Mexicans? I'm just saying. How did all of us disappear? Except for we were represented season 1 as like a gang, I think.
Yeah. Well, you've got Rosita. I'm
sure. Yeah. I'm sure Fear the Walking Dead will be full of Mexicans. If not, there's gonna be a problem if we're starting off in LA. I'm just saying.
Hey, and then they might pull a Walking Dead and just kill all of them right as you're getting into their characters.
There's like 5 white people left.
Yeah, you definitely. Well, hey, the actors that I know of so far are not of Latin origin. Kim Dickens. So I don't know. We'll see. But it definitely would not make sense if they have no.
That all the zombies better be Mexican. That'll work. All the cholos coming out.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. It almost makes me think of some potentially interesting things they could do with the border and everything, and how that might sort of figure into it. I almost wonder if the spinoff will maybe get into a little bit more of the origins, although I've always said that I don't particularly care, nor do I think it's even necessarily the best idea to explain
I agree.
Why all this is happening. In fact, the more they jump ahead in time, I don't know, maybe just making it more of a, it's just happening, supernatural, whatever, and, there's nothing you can do about it sort of deal, because a lot of the zombies should be turning to mush pretty soon.
Yeah.
And I know the comics jump ahead even further in time, so we'll have to see. But
I'm assuming we're jumping back in time for that, because from the little bit of teaser stuff I've seen, it starts with the outbreak.
Well, see, that's what's confusing. I mean, I'm not all over looking for updates, on Walking Dead. I kind of like to just see it as it comes. But I had heard that the group was being introduced on Walking Dead next for a 6-episode arc. So I don't know if it's going to be a Lost scenario where they jump back and forth in time. I don't know. It seems like it would kind of make sense that they get a fresh start from the beginning, because Walking Dead hasn't shown a whole lot of pre-zombie apocalypse stuff when you think about it. I mean, even at the beginning, Rick's waking up after it's happened.
Unless they go the whole Happy Days style and you have one random Mork episode, it's just on that. Or I guess I should have went with the better example. I can't think of what the Married with Children spinoff was, but they had the one episode. That was that horrible spinoff with Joey, or what's his name, Matt LeBlanc. That was actually not Married with Children. Yeah, okay. Something like that where it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. A lot of people feel it's going to be too much for the casual fan to digest, 2 big zombie shows at once, but I'm excited for it. And like I said, California is an entirely different culture and place than, rural outskirts of Atlanta.
I know.
So
everyone wanting Disneyland, don't expect it. It's not going to happen.
No, probably not. That would be really fucking cool though, if you have just right when it's hitting, families there and Mickey just biting the head off a baby or something.
Well, they could always go the Escape from LA route, because they had Universal double as Disneyland's Main Street, which
there's ways of.
I noticed the differences, but that's just because I was a Disney regular.
Like I said, Disneyland's a lot different from Disney World, because I've spent a good deal of my childhood at both at various points, and Disneyland is where you can see the guy running one of the rides hitting on the mom and her kids that are going through. Disney World is I think more run a dictatorship, where it's a little more don't you do something to embarrass the legacy of Walt kind of deal.
And then you hit not very far from the prison camp, so.
I'm. Well, it looks like I'll probably be spending a lot of time at Disney World soon. So, but I'm dying for Universal Studios and the Horror Nights. That's what I'm.
I hear the Florida one is much better, because Disney. The Hollywood one's been half-assed for years, in my opinion. It's not as good as it once
that's
was.
What I've heard.
And because the first year was insane, and they didn't even count the first year in their numbers because it took like a 3-year gap. They did like a test in the West and in Florida, and that's when they actually had the true terror tram and shit was happening on the tram. They'd run up to the tram. It was just nuts. Now they just drive you somewhere else on the tram.
Yeah. It's not the same. I mean, Florida's definitely different. So I don't know. It's a shame, but it's still cool. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things California has that Florida doesn't. But yeah, no. I mean, just back to Walking Dead. I love the way this ended. Kind of like full circle from episode 1, Morgan and Rick coming face to face, and I don't know. Obviously, Morgan kind of had that look of, does the world really need Rick Grimes, who just executed this guy in front of me?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because I know that people have been talking about that, and like, oh, they heard the commotion run up, and just timing. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but yeah, that all turned very quick. Once her husband's throat got slit, she was all Team Grimes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I definitely think they came to their senses and realized, just like with, I've already forgotten her name, but the psychotic little girl. I mean, what are you going to do in that world? It's not like you can just treat them. Obviously Pete wasn't going to stay separated for long, and what are you going to do? It's an interesting moral dilemma, I guess, at this point. But I don't know. The throat slit seemed a little bit much based on how it happened, because it obviously wasn't intentional, and he was just like gushing like he was nearly decapitated. Well, you have to think she keeps her sword very sharp.
That's true.
I
don't know. It just looked like it barely touched him, and he pulled away and had a full-on slit throat. But
okay, we have to talk about it. Did you see the Dawn of the Dead machete kill?
Yes, I did. Yes, actually, a lot of people pointed that out.
Yeah, I'm sure they before the Easter eggs didn't. Now it's like as soon as they're done. But I saw it. Yeah, but I wouldn't. It was because I had. So it took me a few days to watch Monday Night Raw this week, so I had my Facebook silence. I didn't think I actually got on till like Wednesday, so everything, spoiler-wise, was like gone at that point.
Oh yeah, you enjoyed Lesnar kicking the crap out of Cole, I take it.
Oh yeah. So
I wanted the WCW Meng angle where Lesnar just keeps coming back throughout the night and just kicking the shit out of Randy.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Wow, I forgot about that. Well, maybe we can get him on Walking Dead and he could start at 5 and some zombies.
Exactly. That could happen on Z Nation. You never know.
Oh, shit. Yes, it could. And it's a crossover.
Exactly, yes. I was going to say, they need to, I don't know, get Lesnar in some stuff. But I don't know, he hates traveling as it is. So, but, yeah, no, I thought it was a cool, I loved Abraham's speech that he gave to the group. It's like, vast world of shit that you don't know shit about. Shit, really. I thought that was pretty epic, and his kind of sort of making up with Eugene was also, I thought, pretty cool. I kind of just assumed that, we were just led to believe that they had their heart-to-heart off camera or something.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should just mention we are going to hit the archive, but we're going to keep talking a few more minutes. So if we get cut off and you're listening live, which I don't think a lot are tonight because we did go on early. So if you are, just check back in a little bit. It'll be up, and you can just fast forward to the end. So okay.
And
we'll
again,
be back
same
next
time.
week.
Yeah, usual time next week.
Yeah, okay. So I know that always throws it off when we do that before we're in the archive. So we don't have a lot of time because apparently we get cut off 15 over.
Yeah, I mean, we should talk about Carol, though.
Yeah.
I love badass Carol. I don't know how realistic it is when you can, although, hell, I guess when you're thrown into a situation like that, you tend to discover your inner badass, but, how her character was at the beginning, where everybody was like, oh, okay, this lady's going to go catatonic and then die. And now she's like the scariest character. It's like, I could just fucking stab you and nobody will question it. I just love that speech. And she's like, come at me. Just like this little, middle-aged woman is just sitting there just talking out.
She's found her inner Jamie Lee Curtis.
Exactly. Yes. I don't know. Maybe if we get a Halloween reboot at some point, so it can be an older version. I don't know. I was sitting there. I wanted her to kick the door in, like after he slammed her plate, and just start like beating the shit out of him. I thought that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, I know. That would have been
just like transporter style, just like fucking karate kicks the door in and just starts wailing on it. I told you not to fuck with my plate.
Exactly. It's like the other thing she said. So
yeah,
Carol thinks it was deserved at the end.
Yeah, so like I said, it's so weird that she went from being this character that a lot of people thought was just annoying and waiting to die to, for a lot of people, I think the most popular character on the show.
She's definitely the most interesting.
Yeah, she doesn't give these big moral speeches, which obviously is a sure sign of death.
I'm going to say, we need to worry if we get one of those from her.
Yes, but she's just pretty much, it is what it is. You have to do what you have to do. Some people call her a kind of psychotic character now. I think it's just, you got to do what you got to do. She's not afraid to do it. I still found it really interesting that kid was not at all unnerved by what she said to him. But I don't know. Her storyline's interesting. Like I said, sort of an unwanted at this point motherly bond with a kid. That could be sort of compelling to spend, depending how long they stay with this group. Because, again, and I'm just going off bits and pieces from the comics, but in the comics, see, these wolves seem a bit more cult-like, and in the comics, Negan, from what I understand, again, and I could be totally off base for those of you that have read far into the comics, but Negan's group was kind of like a bicycle gang that was charging people protection money and everything, and I think they were called the Saviors, which, I mean, they could very well change that, but I think. But I don't know, those two guys, the fact that, he didn't have bullets in a gun and had to ambush, I don't know, they don't seem like charging people protection group, unless in the show they haven't just run afoul of them yet.
I was thinking about this earlier. Since Fear the Walking Dead is going to be its total, separate thing, I wonder if they're going to save any of those ideas, for that, and you could just kind of switch it up and have the biker gang over there, Sons of Anarchy style.
They certainly could. That is, I mean, the one benefit of the spinoff for people that feel like they shouldn't do it, you're going to get something that you have nothing to compare it to as far as what's coming. I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want that comes from their imagination. There's no blueprints with the comic books, which, Walking Dead's changed it up a little bit. Some characters have gotten other characters' arcs and whatnot, but I'm looking forward to seeing it being just completely, off the cuff and, original.
And there's no saying they can't interject characters from the book that aren't used on this one into there, or even that, if The Walking Dead's winding down and they want to make the other one the flagship, and, because who knows how much longer this one's going to go.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I heard that recent comment about wanting it to go 12 seasons, and I don't I don't know that I see that actually happening.
Yeah.
As much as I love the show, and I mean, if they could keep it up for that long, that'd be fantastic. But
are they just trying to beat Cheers' record?
Perhaps. I mean, I think they've got at least a few more seasons if they're doing the Negan stuff, because he is basically the last mega villain that the comics has introduced, apparently. But I don't know. At the same time, they may be thinking, well, we've already had the governor. Do we want to introduce another, mega villain, that maybe could help get the spinoff going? It is very interesting. I suppose they could do it. And there's also nothing, I don't know, motorcycle-like about this group. This new Wolves almost just seem like a wacky sort of cult-type group to me, but of course we'll see. But, Todd, anything else you can think of that we need to cover from this episode?
No, not really. There was one thing I kind of wanted to ask you at the top of the show, and I completely forgot. But it's not a huge thing. I figure maybe we could just discuss it right now, unless you have anything more to say real quick.
No, I think we covered pretty much everything. I mean, it'll be a long wait for the next season.
All right, then my question is, have you seen the Poltergeist reboot trailer?
I have not yet. No, actually,
okay. Well, we'll have to kind of touch on that next week, maybe then, because I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
So you have a negative view of it, I take it?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I'm always going to say the CG's overdone, but I'm interested to see what it is. But I mean, it looks like a pretty faithful remake, so that can go good or bad, but. It's not like we can ask for more sequels at this time, So I'm interested to see it. And, honestly, if they did that, they can go off on whatever they want after this,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Poltergeist is one of those ones that I don't feel there's a whole lot that a new reboot can really bring to that. It's kind of like Child's Play for me. Neither of which rank, super high up in my favorite horror movies by any means. I mean, I enjoy them both, but I just don't feel like, what are you going to get from a reboot of those films?
Yeah, especially since they both hold up so well. I mean, other than modernizing the TVs and stuff, I mean, there's not a whole lot, other than the teenagers being on cell phones too. There's not a whole lot different, I mean, really for that one. But
no, not
I will say
for a scary.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh no, I was just saying, unless if you're going for now, Child's Play, apparently it's going to be another sequel now. But when they were talking about a reboot, I was just like, I don't know. The acting was great. It was scary. I mean, I could definitely see them doing, fucking it up with Chucky somehow. I mean, the look still holds up great from the original Child's Play.
Kind
of the same thing with Poltergeist. I don't know. I mean, we don't make ghost flicks better in 2015 than we did in the early 80s. I mean, it's just, I don't know what else they can do with that.
Yeah, I know, and it's a slick Hollywood trailer. It's like you see a lot of the key scenes, but for some reason I'm not like shaking my fist at the sky on this one. I'm like, I'll probably end up like that, but as of now, I'm interested to see it. Just out of curiosity's sake on that one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've got a lot of, again, for me, a lot of it's in the TV realm, but, of course, with, Evil Dead coming, which might be the most anticipated thing since Freddy versus Jason. That it's the return of that.
And they did release the official teaser today, which isn't nothing but animation of the graphics. I'm sure someone out there is not happy that they used the reboot font. I'm just saying, I guess someone is not happy about that. I don't know who, but I'm saying I know there's people out there who were,
I was thinking you were alluding to mutual.
Oh no, I wasn't. I wasn't on that one, but I'm saying I know that's going to be something that people are going to complain about.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they will. So yeah, we're about out of time.
Yeah.
We really didn't go on a wrestling rant too much this week, so we must be improving. But although I will say I did think that, well, we kind of talked about it already. I thought WrestleMania was booked fairly well.
I agree.
I think the Ronda Rousey thing went a little longer, and I don't like the fact that the main event was apparently shortened, because I was actually into the match quite a bit.
Yeah, and you could tell. I was like, okay, when's it coming out? I guess we're going to do it during the match.
Yeah, no, it was funny towards the end, because on the network, it went like a minute or two over, so I was wondering people that still were ordering it through traditional pay-per-view, I was like, that might have cut off a little bit. I mean, because they were like literally down to the wire when they were that match, because they always leave themselves, at least 10 to 15 minutes of that extra time, and I'm like, holy shit, these guys, I sure hope this isn't a squash.
Yeah, I know DirecTV, I don't know about other providers, but DirecTV's been doing it for probably a decade now. They have like a half-hour block or an hour block before the replay, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So
it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I've got to think there was some panic backstage with Wyatt.
Oh yeah, Vince does not like. He does not like to run over, and I know it costs them money with the cable providers if they hit a certain mark, because they want that padding too.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, they're on the network. What does it matter if they run long? It still does while they're on terrestrial, or I guess we're calling it terrestrial pay-per-view, traditional pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There we go.
I don't understand people that are still doing it that way at this point. I think the $9.99 just for the pay-per-views is worth it for you or me. But what do you think about some of the new shows? I find it interesting that PG WWE is going to have a tune in the vein of South Park.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm interested in the new shows. I mean, not the Diva Search so much, but
no, yeah.
I mean, we have those future Hall of Famers. Ashley Massaro, call me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But there's more content. I mean, like I said,
no, I'm happy. I mean, that Jackass produced one, which could be interesting.
That could be interesting. I think it might be. It's a shame. It's a shame CM Punk's not still around. I don't know. We could have had CM Punk or something on the network, but it could be pretty funny if they do like former superstars. Just have AJ. I don't know. It's like Punk, Ryback just won the gold or something. But I think it's kind of unlikely at this point. But I think we cut out. Yes, I believe we have cut out. So we will say good night to you guys. I apologize if we don't get the intro in. Apparently we don't have quite as much overtime as we thought we did. So yep, good night, guys, and we will...
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense. Like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift receipt.
I am back here at my favorite place to shop, Dee Dee's Discounts, and I am saving money on amazing gifts for everyone on my list. I got my husband this watch and these headphones, toys my kids are gonna love, and I found this fabulous top for my mom. It's the same one I just saw somewhere else for a lot more. Ooh, look over there. I think my sister would look great in that outfit.
To find a location near you, visit DeeDee'sDiscounts.com.